I'm in Salad and I Saw Leviathan. It is directed by George P. Cosmatos. If you haven't seen this movie, I will spoil it for you. This is requested by Patreon. If you'd like to fast track a movie review, patreon.com/ASEPresents. Time and temperature check. It is 6 p.m., 71 degrees, 63% humidity. On with the review. This movie feels like an Alien parody, also mixed with The Thing. Feels like a parody of those two movies, but instead of space, instead of like just in the Antarctic, instead of just being in the middle of nowhere, we're underwater. And there's this thing that resides in this vodka that's been chilling here once they get here. And they don't really have any regard for their safety. They just decide to drink the vodka for some reason. I don't know why they would drink vodka that's been sitting there for who knows how long. I thought I heard a bug. I personally would not drink that vodka, but of course, people who do be drinking this vodka, they get sick, they get skin rashes, and honestly, the pacing of this movie is very slow. It's a lot of characters talking to each other. Some of the dialogue is pretty funny, but it's a lot of characters talking to each other and not much happening, except for when we finally get to the third act. There's a little bit of slow of a buildup of like these weird space creatures that appear throughout the movie. We got one of the space creatures appears like next to this chick, and it's like a spider or whatever, and then you also got this guy who's like looking at the titties on the ceiling, and then he feels it by his feet or something. He grabs it from behind his head, but the dialogue says feet, so I'm like, was he supposed to say feet or head? It feels like a mistake to me. There's a lot of that happening, and then characters bicker some more. Doctoring it up, looking at the sick people. I'm like, oh, something interesting is happening finally. And then the third act, you got this little space creature. There's like a little tiny guy, and it's like assimilating people, and it gets bigger and bigger. And then third act, we get a big guy, and then it's like Alien where they're fighting the guy, and they have a pew 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 pew, and got a bit of a simulation. And they're like, oh, are we going to be able to survive? We also got this plot point where we got the head honcho guy is like, you know what? We're gone. We're done for. And reports that they're all dead. And you got like the news reporters saying that they're all dead. But for some reason, the way that we find out about this news report is you got the chick. She's like, oh, you know, I'm going to check my stocks. After being told that she's like probably drown or die, because before that it was established that they have like lockdown and like the air is gone because the guy decides to, hey, this is done, we're done, for some reason. And she's like, oh, check my stocks, and then it's been reported already that they're all dead, and they have to find out a way to get out of this place that they're in. And then they do get out, and then I'm like, oh, they're safe, but nope, you got the big giant monster that comes and is going to get them all, and then boom, the explosion. And that's pretty much the end of the movie. You either love this movie or you hate this movie. I feel like this movie, it's very fun, but also boring. Let me explain. You got fun dialogue. If you like dialogue between characters, this is a good movie for you. But if you don't like dialogue with characters and you like seeing something scary happening, then I don't think this is the movie for you. This definitely was interesting watch. I'm glad it was an hour and a half, because otherwise I would have been more bored. I wasn't super bored watching this. I just felt like at some points it's like, man, this is really lagging. I get it. There's really nothing happening here. Oh, finally something's happening here. This is just Alien and The Thing, and if I wanted to watch Alien or The Thing, I would watch Alien or The Thing. That is how I feel about this movie. Of course, it's got good dialogue between the characters, but that's pretty much what I like about the film. A lot of repeat shots I felt like were unnecessary. Like there was like 4 shots in a row of these suits just pulling up from they were just zoom, revealing the suits, and it was like 4 shots. I'm like, I don't think we need 4 shots. If I wanted to watch Alien or The Thing, I would watch those movies. The only good thing about this has to be the dialogue, the witty back and forth. But even then, the dialogue half the time is not very witty. It feels exposition dumpy. Everything about this movie is incredibly derivative of those two franchises. The monster looks like a xenomorph. The monster is shown way too many times in this film. Am I supposed to be scared of it? It just looks like a Cronenberg blob. It feels like the monster was just placed there. For some reason, it doesn't establish how the monster got into the vodka, why everybody just decided to drink the vodka. Why would they do that? Do these people not have any sort of common sense? These are supposed to be scientists. Where did their common sense go? Oh, we go underwater for a big underwater moment, and suddenly our common sense goes also underwater, but deeper underwater, so they don't have access to it. I don't know where their common sense went. They just decide to drink the vodka, maybe because they're low on vodka, but this movie does not explain that at all. It doesn't establish how long they've been doing this for, or why. Not really clear on why they're doing this in the first place. Just that they decide to miss all the warning signs that they could have not missed. Very obvious. And they did this to themselves. They caused themselves to... Somehow this guy decides to report them as done dead. Because I bet that guy was like, yeah, I see who these guys are. They suck. I want them gone. Why am I relating to the bad guy in this film? You done did a bad job if you did not mean to make the bad guy the relatable character in a film. And I feel like this is what that movie done did by accident. I gotta give this one... It's so sad how I didn't like this. I thought that I would like it at the very start, and then I was like, oh, is this going to be like Star Trek 1 in pacing? And yes, it was very much like Star Trek 1 in pacing, but not as good. And very much exposition heavy. So I have to give this one, it's like a 5.8 out of 10. If you like this review, watch another one. The platform really likes that. If I haven't reviewed it on a channel, there's a chance I haven't seen it at all. That's why you gotta get them Patreon requests at patreon.com/ASEPresents. $20 dinos for one movie review per 1 month. Support the Daily Grindness by going to this link tree. It helps with the daily grind. So you can go here. And until next time, I'm in Salad Saw. I'll see you later. My sour croutons, bacon bits. I'm gonna go find some water to jump into. I don't know, I feel like I do Leviathan better than they can. So I'm gonna do that. Goodbye.